all of you. What's your name?
Aviral.
The question asked by Aviral is, if we don't have ego, then we will not have any goals in life. If we don't have ego, we won't have any goals in life, and such a life would be worthless. Right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Underline the words we have ego, goals, and worthless. Underline these words. If we can understand the question properly, clarity would be there. We do not need lot of answers from outside. The question itself is the answer. In understanding the question, the answer will be revealed. Aviral says, if we don't have ego, you see, Aviral, for me to say that I have this pen, there is a prerequisite. Understand it just as sharply as you understand mathematics. For me to say that I have this pen, there is a prerequisite. And what's that? There must be a me and there must be a pen, obviously. There ought to be two entities. For me to say that I have an ego, there ought to be two entities. What? Which two entities? Me and ego. The question then arises, am I anything apart from my ego? To say there is a me, there is an I, and there is an ego, I must be separate from ego. Now, am I really separate from ego? So first of all, it's not very accurately worded when you say, I have an ego. Wonderful. What's your name? Good girl. We don't have egos. We are egos. For us to have egos, it's important that we understand ourselves as something distinct from the ego. We don't understand that. When you are angry, do you understand yourself as something separate from the anger? No, you are anger. You are anger. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
When your body hurts, do you say that the leg is paining? Do you say that the leg is paining? You say, I am feeling the ache. I am feeling the pain. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting it? We don't have ego. We are egos. We are egos. So the question is purely hypothetical. Aviral says, what if we don't have egos? If you don't have egos, then you will not be what you are. And it's impossible for you to imagine that state, to conceptualize that state. You currently are ego. And what does it mean to be the ego? You have had a few sessions already, and you surely would have seen that all ego comes from the society outside, right? Alright. Now combine these two statements. Be alert and combine these two statements. One, I am ego. Second, all ego is external, foreign. Combine these two statements and what do you get? Write this down. Combine these two statements, A and B. Statement A, I am ego. Statement A, I am ego. Statement B, all ego is external, foreign. All ego is external, foreign. And what do you get?
This means I am external.
So these two statements are contradictory.
Are?
Contradictory.
No, they are not contradictory. Both of them are true. They appear contradictory. They appear contradictory. When they appear contradictory to your beliefs.
You're not your own self.
Wonderful. And you combine them, and what do you get?
This same.
You get a pretty disgusting result. And that's why I call it contradictory. Because
It means we are not real.
it means that we don't exist. I am a sum total of all the foreign influences upon me.
Yes.
But then, Aviral does not like dropping the ego. The existence of ego means you do not exist. The existence of ego means you are nothing. But what the society, education, family, religion, philosophy, evolution, all these external influences combined has been given a certain name. Aviral. I pick this up, I pick this up, I pick a piece of cloth, I pick up a nice pair of jeans, I make it wear a pair of shoes, and then I call it Aviral. How does it sound? Not very flattering, does it? Does it sound very nice? Have you heard of that? कहीं की ईट कहीं का रोड़ा, भानुमती में कुंभा जोड़ा. So I pick this up, this, thousands of things, all coming from outside. Do a sigma. Make it wear undergarments. Give it a nice wig. A nice sweatshirt. And then a name. How does it sound to be like that? Yes, how does it sound to be like that? It seems it sounds quite acceptable to you all. Does it sound acceptable? Want to live a life like that? Want to live a life like that? That's what ego is. You are young, you have a life to live, right? You are here, you have more than 2 years to spend in the campus. Would you want to live like that? Just as a sum total of this and that? Or would you want to have an individuality of your own, which has not come from somewhere else, is you, which is not a foreign influence, which is not something that somebody has taught you or imposed upon you or made you do, which is you in all your freedom? Won't you want something of that in you? And isn't that the real you? You see, whatever comes from outside, can it be real me? These clothes come from outside, I can surely change them. Would I change? Whatever, it just sounds simple, but understand this. Whatever comes from outside cannot be the real me. What all comes from outside? Your specs come from outside. They can go, you will still remain.
What about thoughts?
Wonderful, very good. We'll come to that. We'll come to that.
So being an ourself isn't our goal.
It is what you are. A goal is something that you achieve in the future. Where, are you a goal? What you are, that can't be a goal. What you are, that can't be a goal. But yes, if you do not know yourself, that can be a goal, to know yourself. But what you are, that cannot be a goal. Because that just purely is. That there is no question of goal in that. Are you together? Are we all together? Are we all together in this? This is not a goal. This is not a goal, this is what you are. When we say that not to understand the ego is to assume yourself to be a sum total of all foreign influences. Does that go home? Has that been understood? Yes? That has been understood. That was the first part of Avilal's statement, that if I don't have an ego. Is this very much clear that we don't have egos? We are egos? Till the time we don't understand this. The moment it is understood, we are free. Only for that moment. Only for that moment. Not perpetually free. So that first part of the statement ought to be clear by now. Second part, if we don't have ego, we won't have goals. And the third part says, and hence it would be a worthless life. Let's go to the second part. We won't have goals. Now, I am a sum total of all influences upon me. I am a slave to those influences, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So whatever goals I'll have, whose goals would they be? My master's goal. What's the fun in having such goals? I am a slave to someone. He says, fine, go and fetch vegetables from the market. So it becomes my goal to fetch vegetables from the market. Even if I accomplish that goal, what does that give me? Nothing.
But the response is awareness is good.
Master, even the master is ego ridden. So even he does not get anything because he himself has another master. The master himself is not free. Remember, a free man never becomes a master of anybody else. Only a slave wants to enslave somebody else. That's a golden rule of the mind. This course will be so much about understanding the laws of the mind. Just as you have laws of the physical universe, there are clear and definite laws of the mind also. Are you getting it?
Yes.
And a lot of that would be covered in your examination as well. We may not be always spelling these things out very, very clearly and distinctly. We rely on your own intelligence to figure these things out. You have to be alert and attentive. Very alert, very attentive. Alright? So, if I don't have any ego, that part has been taken care of. Then I don't have any goals. Your goals are not your goals at all.
Sir, if they are.
They can't be till the time you don't understand who you are.
Yes, sir.
If all I am is a son, a student, a friend, some identity, then all my goals will come from that foreign influence. Till the time I do not understand a foreign influence to be a foreign influence, I remain a slave to it. Till the time I do not see the external as the external and assume it to be internal, me. That this is not external, this is me. Till the time I keep doing that, I'll remain a slave to it. Because I have confused it with myself. I am assuming that this is me. I am not seeing clearly that this is not me. I was not born with this. This has been taught to me. I have been told this. This has been given to me. I wasn't born with these beliefs. I wasn't born with these thoughts. They all have been given to me. Till the time I do not realize my essence as clearly separate from all the tents of my mind. Mark this statement. Till the time I do not realize my essence as very, very separate from the contents of my mind, I'll remain a slave. Because I'll assume that which is external to be myself. And hence I'll keep following the external without having any understanding of who I am. Without having any understanding of who I am. No problem with goals. No problem with looking at the future. Provided you look at it as yourself. But that doesn't happen. You see, why do we look at the future? Why do we look at the future? There is a very clear reason. This brain that you have is coming to you after a journey of millions of years. Simple, direct. There was nothing, then a few proteins got together, then there was some little initial rudimentary protoplasm, then a few single cell creatures, amoeba, paramecium, then slightly more developed life forms, then more, and finally the human being. All the experiences of the past are what has made this brain. All the experiences of the past are what has made this brain. Your brain is nothing but a collection of your past experiences. I agree. Brain is nothing but a collection of your past experiences, all stored in your DNA. All stored in your DNA. Those experiences constitute what is called as physical conditioning. What is called as physical conditioning. Those experiences are what give you 2 eyes, a nose, a couple of hands. Have you ever wondered why we have only 5 fingers? Why not 6.5? It's a result of your past. You didn't choose to have 5 fingers. Did you choose to have 5 fingers? No. It has just come to you this way. A result of your past, evolutionary past. Yes. A result of your evolutionary past. And all that contained in your right. All that is contained.
सर फिर किसी किसी के चेंज होते हैं
Yes.
जैसे ऋतिक रोशन के चेंज
Oh, those are mutations. Those are problems. Just as in cancer, you have a few cells going mad. That can happen. That much of allowance is there in the DNA itself. Then you may as well ask that why do some people have blue eyes and green eyes?
यस सर
That much allowance is there. That too is a product of their past. Now, all that this brain wants is a continuation of this journey. Security is its primary concern. Security. I have been traveling and I must keep traveling. I must not die. I must not die. So there are only 2 major concerns that nature has. One, that this body must stay intact, that you have. Second, that you must produce kids. That's all that nature wants from you. It's always looking towards the future. It has come from the past and is always looking towards the future. It has no regard for the present moment. It has no concern for what you are right now. The past is stored in it and the future is its concern. That I must continue in the future. I must not be obliterated. So that is the reason why fear exists. Fear is nothing but the possibility of extinction, that I may not be there. Because nature wants security, hence insecurity, fear exists. Because nature wants continuity. The brain, that is, wants continuity. Now, we are talking of goals, and all of this with respect to goals, remember. Now, because the brain has traveled such a long journey, it has accumulated experiences. It wants to repeat those experiences for the simple reason that those experiences, the sum total of those experiences is that it is still alive today. The past is good, and what is the proof of that for the brain? That I am still alive. Had it been bad, I would have been gone by now. The past is good. So what does it do? What kind of future does it want? What kind of future does the brain want?